The patch notes for Season 4 Reloaded for Call of Duty Warzone and DMZ have just dropped, and that means we've finally got real details on how Assimilation and Plea for Help are changing. And they are changing quite a bit, so let's get straight into it. These are the patch notes from today, and there's a little bit at the beginning there that Building 21 is going to have some new enemies in there. Apparently a new enemy force is attempting to infiltrate. We won't get to find out what those are until Friday at 5 o'clock when Building 21 opens. Temp V has arrived, so those superpowers from the boys are going to be in DMZ. Not charge jump for some reason, but we are going to get the laser eyes, the teleport, and also that sort of electric hand thing where it looks like you can destroy vehicles with one hit. I wonder if that'll let you kill the bullfrog, because if so, that's going to make a couple of missions and getting that weapon case much easier. There's some adjustments there where it says they can see progress you made on upgrade missions, plea for help timers up to 20 seconds from 15, and while you're pressing the plea for help timer, it's not going to run out of time anymore. That isn't the big change, that's just sort of a bug fix essentially. But here we get the big changes. So, when reviving someone who is pleading, the player who was pleading no longer auto-joins the reviver's team. This is something that I said I kind of hoped would happen in a video the other day. So that means when you revive someone who's pleading for help, they're not going to just join your team, you're just going to be getting them back up. But now there's something a little bit weird. There will be a 30-second grace period after a player is revived, where the reviver's team will not be able to damage the player who was pleading. So that means if you see that you kill someone, they're pleading for help, you revive them. After you revive them, you can't damage them again for 30 seconds. It doesn't say anything about the other way around. So does that mean if you plead for help and someone revives you, you can just get up and kill them because they can't hit you for 30 seconds and you can just wipe their entire team and take all their stuff? If so, I'm not really sure what there is to do about that. I'm not sure how you get around that. Maybe this just isn't written very clearly, and maybe there's something where, like, you know, it'll be 30 seconds both ways and no one will be able to hurt each other. That would make a lot more sense. But it sounds a little bit like if you revive someone who's pleading for help, you've got to trust them not to attack you because you can't fight back for 30 seconds. If so, no one's ever going to be reviving anybody ever again because it would just be stupid. They will just kill you. But yeah, that's apparently how it's going to work. And then after reviving, the reviver will be given a prompt to invite the revived player to their team, so it will suggest that you invite them to the team. The plea for help and loot prompts are now separate. Plea for help revive prompt is on the player's body, and the loot prompt is on the backpack like normal. Looting the player first will not disable the plea option. So the way it works at the moment, especially if you're on controller, which is super annoying, is you either accept someone's plea for help and revive them instantly, or you hold the button down on them, and you sometimes have to change your controller settings to do this, hold the button down on them, cancelling the plea, but then being able to loot them. So the way they've changed it now is you will be able to loot them. Even if you're going to revive them, you can just loot them first, check if they've got any keys you want, maybe you want to take their gun away from them, something like that. Maybe that'll be it, because you can't fight back if they decide to try and kill you. Maybe you'll take all their guns away from them first so they spawn with nothing. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. But it's nice that they're separate. I think that's a really good change. They've also said they've created a direct assimilation function to only send a request to one person. So you can just assimilate one person. You don't have to send out like a general request anymore. I never really noticed a problem with that, but now if you want to, you can just send it to one person. Then this is an interesting one. The team who killed the player that is pleading will no longer be able to accept the plea request and then revive. This prevents killing to force assimilation. So it sounds like if you killed a player, you can't accept their plea and you can't revive them. So that means, again, pleading for help is going to be a much less useful and much less common because you're basically relying on another team coming along and reviving you. I think that I've got that right. Let me know in the comments if I've got that wrong. But I think it sounds like if you killed a player and that player is now pleading, you can't accept their request and revive them. You can't revive someone that you've killed or someone on your team has killed. So yeah, that sounds like a positive change. It means it's much less likely to happen that you're going to be reviving lots of people and assimilating them. So hopefully this will be a really solid thing. It does mean that like there's been no change to the number of people you can assimilate. There's been no change to sort of 2 groups of 3 going into a game together, queuing up together, and then assimilating with each other. That hasn't changed. I'm not sure how often that really happens. I know it does happen, but I don't think it's very common. But that hasn't changed at all. But at least that thing of, you know, a team being super aggressive at the beginning, immediately killing another team, and then they all plead for help, they assimilate, and now there's a team of 6. That's not going to happen anymore. So that sounds like a positive thing. That sounds interesting. Now, on a note of sort of PvP, also, if a player and their squad kill too many players in DMZ, I don't think it says how many that is, the player will be issued a warning, the high kill individual player, not the whole team, just that player. If they kill another player, they get a bounty on their head. Enemy operators in the exclusion zone will then receive intel on your position to secure a reward upon completion. Killing a player with a bounty will award everyone in the squad $10,000. That's pretty good. That's not a bad amount of money for that. The bounty is not active in Building 21 or Koshai Complex. So this doesn't work in Building 21 or Koshai Complex, but it will work in, Al-Mazrah, Ashika, and Vondel. So I think that's a pretty cool idea. That's a pretty solid idea, and you get a warning before it's going to happen. But if you're on a killing spree, going around killing lots of players, you're going to get a bounty. People are going to get told where you are, roughly by the sounds of it. It might be like the scavenger, where you get the red circle. They'll get told roughly where you are, and then they get a load of money if they kill you. I think that's good, because if you're already killing players, you kind of want to do the PvP, so that makes sense. The interesting thing is, like, what is too many players? Is it going to be like you kill 3 players? Is it going to be you kill 5 players, 10 players? I would say on a game where I kill lots of players, it's probably like 7 or 8 usually. Like, I don't often kill any more than that. So I'll be really interested to see where this line is and maybe where it should be. Then there's a bunch of bug fixes there. I didn't notice a single bug that's anything that's affected me ever. So they still haven't changed the bugs, with holding the interact button and stuff like that. Anyway, let me know what you think of these changes. Are they enough changes to Assimilation? Those of you who replied to my last video and were saying like, no, 6-player teams is amazing, we want more of this kind of stuff. How do you feel about these? Because it hasn't really stopped you from being able to do that. It's just made it a little bit more involved, a little bit more complicated maybe. I'd be really interested to know what you think. Just leave your comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be streaming the beginning of Season 4 Reloaded from as soon as I've got it downloaded, basically. So probably around 6 PM BST today, right here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on. Goodbye.